PGA Tour high or low, with, of course, the Waste Management Phoenix Open on the way. Want to know if these odds are too high, long, or too low, short for this week's tournament. So at plus 1,600, you have Viktor Hovland. He has the same odds as two guys who were in contention last week in Jordan Spieth and Patrick Cantlay, the 24-year-old. He's been playing some great golf over in the European Tour, but plus 1,600, too high or too low, Reid?
Well, it's the DP World Tour now, Koff. We got to get it right. Pay the price.
Oh, goodness.
Come on now. I think these are Goldilocks. I think these are just right. Because if you take a look at what he's done, like you mentioned, overseas, Koff, if you look at his last, I think 5 events, last 5 events, he has 3 worldwide wins, right? Like, yeah, some of them come from limited no-cut fields, but he's playing extremely well right now. And this tournament does feel like one of the top guys are going to win it. We've seen over the last 8 years, both Hideki Matsuyama and Brooks Koepka, who we'll get to in a little bit, have won this event. So it does feel like now with 3 of the top 4 guys coming over in world golf rankings, 6 of the top 10, that one of these guys, this is the premier field that we're getting here in Phoenix. So it does feel like that he doesn't have the greatest stats when it comes into it, but at 1,600, he's the number 3 golfer in the world. So I think they're just right.
Geoff, I should have gone to you first. You wouldn't have corrected me. You also wouldn't have caught that.
No, I would have asked to switch out hosts. What I would have done. I would have demanded it. I would have just left. Look. I mean, this tournament, this field is super interesting. I mean, Patrick Cantlay and Viktor Hovland being bigger in the odds on the DraftKings sportsbook than Hideki Matsuyama this week is pretty interesting. I mean, this is the 3rd and 4th ranked players in the world. And I know Hideki's playing good, but I won't fault anyone for taking Hovland or Cantlay this week. I mean, these are just 2 of the best players in the world right now. And yeah, Viktor Hovland, I mean, his best win on the PGA is still the Mayakoba Classic. But, I mean, the bigger events will certainly come. And, you know, this is one where he could certainly pick it up. So I think you're getting great value. I think, if anything, these odds are a little bit too big. I don't know why Hovland isn't getting a little bit more respect coming off a win 2 weeks ago. Reid mentioned, the course history stats here. I mean, he's only played here once and missed the cut. It's not really something I worry about a player like Hovland. His rise has been so meteoric over the last year or so that you just can't really factor in course history with a player like this right now. So his odds are too big. I don't know if necessarily that's where I'm going to land in the top. I might even prefer going down to Justin Thomas at plus 1,000. But yeah. I mean, again, I can't fault anyone for taking the odds on Cantlay or Hovland.
Guys, Brooks Koepka is the returning champion here. He's a 2-time winner, but since we haven't seen him since he was cut from the Farmers Insurance Open last month, it's something to be mindful of. He's plus 3,000. Is that too high or too low for Brooks here, Geoff? And also, does he still have the blonde hair?
I mean, I don't follow stuff like that. You have to contact Emerson for the latest, fashion updates on guys like Brooks Koepka. Look, I will scold people for taking Brooks Koepka this week. I get it. This is when we want to take Brooks, when he gets up in the odds and everyone's also off him. And, it's Brooks doesn't win these events. And then you get him at plus 3,000 or whatever. It's decent odds, but there's nothing clicking for Brooks right now. He's losing strokes. He's losing multiple strokes off the tee. And we talked about this yesterday too. And so I'm kind of just doubling down on this. I guess it's my big take of the week. But when Brooks Koepka's driver isn't working, I mean, what is he? I mean, I mentioned yesterday, he's instead of Superman, he's just man. He doesn't have that mojo. And I think it's a big thing to watch for. If Brooks isn't getting it done off the tee, the rest of his game just doesn't naturally flow. And I don't see him making up for a bad driver in this field. So no, I don't think these odds are big enough. I think you got to fade Brooks till we see a little bit more.
Reid, how about you?
Oh, I was waiting for the Adam Kaufman, Clark Kent analogy, but I guess it wasn't there.
No. He's just man, like many of us.
I'm going to say it's too high. I'm with Geoff. Look, this is exactly what happened last year when he was at 5,500 to win. He wasn't coming in great form, and then we get the odds. He has some injury concerns, and then we get him, and he wins. But he was 5 back. Remember, he was 5 back going into Sunday, and he just had an amazing last 12 holes, and Xander and Spieth kind of faltered. So a lot of things got his way. James Hahn also faltered as well. But you take a look at what he did last year coming into it. He was 13 in greens in regulation over the last dozen rounds coming into that tournament. This year, it's not the same. Even though he's got 3 missed cuts, and that kind of feels like it's right where we want Brooks, is missing the cut, and then he wins, and that's what he does. I want Geoff here. This is not the case. I think it's too high for him.
Fellas, I don't care if we get to our last couple questions because this is the one I've been waiting all show to ask. At plus 3,500, we have both Tony Finau and Louis Oosthuizen. We know these are your guys. Let's mix it up a little bit here. Make your case, and Reid, you can go first for why your favorite golfer is a better bet at plus 3,500 than the other guy's favorite golfer. Go ahead.
Look, the only reason where Louis Oosthuizen is better than Tony Finau is in that just right there. You saw it. That's the only way, is that his name is above Tony in the odds, just by name, not by value. Let's just take a look at how they felt, or excuse me, how they finished their best finish here at this tournament. Louis got a respectable third place, right? You know, maybe in like 2001. Finau's come runner up. And let's take a look at Louis Oosthuizen's last event, Geoff. It was the RSM Classic in like November, where he withdrew. I mean, Finau's last is a T28 like last week in a strong field. And look, he's not been the greatest, but come on, there's no way you're taking Louis. He's probably not even sleeping right. His back's probably so sore, his neck's sore. He's probably going to Dougie D again on Saturday.
Geoff, do you think that was just alphabetical order by first name or what?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we don't care where we have Louis Oosthuizen on the board. We're going to bet him this week. Of course, we're going to bet him over Tony, can't make the cut Finau at the Farmers, where everyone backed him. And he ruined my lineups too, Reid. I haven't even bugged you about that yet. Now that we're bringing it up.
Same.
Anyways, look, Louis rested. You know what? This is an event where we have seen players come in. Brooks did it last year, no form, came in. Brooks Koepka did this in 2015 too. Came in, hadn't played, won the event. Louis well rested. He's sitting back. All these guys are weary from beating each other up. Yeah, Louis landed a third place the first time he played the Waste Management Phoenix Open. That was in 2017, by the way, Reid. T11 last year. He likes these desert layouts. I'm actually pretty bullish on him, to be honest, this week. I think he's going to surprise people, and I think he will get in contention very early in the PGA season and pick up his second PGA win of his career. Yes, of course, you bet Louis over Tony Finau. You bet him over Brooks Koepka at this range. You bet him over Russell Henley at this range. You bet him over everyone at this range. Still too big at plus 3,500.